Hi everyone, welcome back to the briefing room and welcome to the final missions in the Advance Wars campaign, that is the final battle. In these missions, there is something very special, that is we are going to play 3 against 1 versus Sturm. In the center army, we have Andes. In the left wing, we have Blue Moon army. Right now the CO is max, and in the right wing, we have the Green Earth army with Semi as the COs. There is something special about the left wing and the right wing army. That is, it is related to the outcome set 1 and outcome set 2 that I've been previously mentioned when I'm talking about the branch or the scenario. Now let's first look at that. For the left wing army, aka the Blue Moon army, there are 3 possible outcomes when I mention about outcome set 1. The outcome 1 that we are having in this playthrough at its max, but we can also get Olaf when I previously mentioned as outcome 2, and we can also have Grid. I previously mentioned that as outcome 3. For this, here are the composition for each army. As we can see, the locations, the spawn locations and the base and the city placement is the same. The only difference is the composition of the army and of course the CO's power and the CO's ability itself. I have previously mentioned before, the best is arguably max because we have a lot of direct unit and we'll be having a lot of direct combat. And the worst arguably is Olaf, because Olaf's Blizzard or Olaf's sales power will affect our light army. So it will affect not only Sturm's army but our Orange Stars army and Green Earth armies. Grid is quite okay because especially its sales power we could utilize the rockets and artillery plus missiles very greatly. But Max is arguably the best COs in the campaign anyway, so for this playthrough and for these videos, we are going to play as Max in our left wing army. Now, in the right wing army, we will have options of 4, that is Semis as outcome 1, Kanbei outcome 2, Drake outcome 3, and lastly Eagle as our 4th alternative. Note that when we get Kanbei on the right wing, we are going to get a yellow combat army instead of green earth army, but that's a minor detail. But arguably the best will be Eagle, just because when we first look at the map, terms start with a bit more of air units, and Eagles will have some fighters that could match Sturm's air units early on. The worst, I would say, it's Semis, because at the initial compositions, Semis just have few max missiles, tanks, and anti-air, but mostly foot soldiers. However, Kanbei and Drake will have some middle tank that could be very useful early on. So that is a bit for about the left wing and the right wing army. Now what I want to talk about is how to get to remind you or to let you know again how to get each of those outcomes. Now for the left wing army, it is decided when we played our Blue Moon campaign. You remember, we will have, after the first 3 missions, we will have the Max Strikes COs option. We can choose Andy's route and Max route. Should we choose Max route, we will have another 3 missions and we will lock Grid as our Blue Moon army COs before continuing to the Semis debut missions. However, if you want to have Olaf or Max, we are to choose Andy's when we play the Max Strikes missions. Do the Max fully missions, and when we do Olaf's Navy battle, we can do HQ capture route or HQ capture missions when we finish those battle to get max as our Blue Moon Army COs, or we could choose to route Olaf's in the Olaf's Navy battle, play the Olaf Sea Strikes or the extra missions, and we'll get Olaf's as our Blue Moon Army COs at the final battle. Now, for the Right Wing Army, the outcome was dependent on the Yellow Comet campaign and the Green Earth campaign. To remind you, in Yellow Comet campaign, there is Sonya secret missions that can be unlocked if we could do the mission against Khan base quick enough or fast enough. Should we unlock Sonya's missions, we will get Kanbei as our Green Earth Army COs or our Right Wing Army, and if not, we will get Semis as our Green Earth Army COs or our Right Wing Army. However, those outcomes, Semis or Kanbei, are also dependent on our choice in the Green Earth campaign. Should we play all the Green Earth campaign as Semis, it doesn't matter what we do in Yellow Comet campaign, we will get Eagle. However, if you play all of the Green Earth campaign as Andy, we will get either Kanbei or Drake. If we unlock the Sonya's mission, we will get Kanbei. If we do not unlock the Sonya's missions, or we are failing the speed requirements, we will get Drake. And lastly, if we do not play all the Green Earth campaign missions as Andy or not all as Semis, we will get either Semis or Kanbei depending on the Yellow Comet campaign. That is, if we fail the speed requirements, we will get Semis. However, if we unlock the Sonya secret mission, we will get Kanbei. So, for this playthrough or for the save files, I am using the one with max and Semis as our outcome for Blue Moon Army COs and Green Earth Army COs or the Right Wing Army. Now this is just a review for the path I choose. Just a little bit of end note, that is that if we unlock Eagle or we do all the Green Earth campaign missions as Semis, after this final mission or this final battle, we can unlock another secret missions before the ending or before the credit. However, again, since I didn't unlock Eagle for this playthrough, we will not see that secret missions. Now, I think that's enough for the kind of side briefing. So I hope you could understand on how we get this outcome, and if you play along, you could hopefully able to aim certain outcome, that is certain COs on the left of our wing and the right of our wing in the final battle. Again, for this final battle, I'll be playing as Andy in the center, Max in the left, and Semis in the right wing. Now let's move on to the strategy. Before I start the strategy briefing, although I have introduced term for these missions or for this battle, terms have unlocked the CO's power. So in this battle, Term can unlock can use the CO's power, and the CO's power are called Meteor Strike. Now what Meteor Strike do is, Meteor Strike will damage in a diagonal area 3x3 area for 8 damage for all our and ally unit, but the damage cannot go below 1, that is the meteor strike or the CO's power, cannot defeat or KO a unit. There are two things that I want to mention about the CO's powers. That first, SRM or AI will only use the CO's power should the matter is full at the beginning of its turn, except of course for Eagle CO's power. So STRM here will only use Meteor Strike if his CO's matter is full at beginning his turn. Secondly, for this battle, STRMs will aim the meteor at the highest value unit. So for example, if STRM can hit 5 infantry or 3 tanks, STRMs more likely to hit 3 tanks because 3 tanks is more valuable gold wise against 5 infantries. Also, if STRMs can hit 5 infantry with 5 HP each versus 3 infantry with 10 HP each, most likely STRM will hit the 3 infantry one because again the HP per gold or gold per HP is higher on the 3 infantry will full HP one. So with those two facts, we will try to manipulate and to control the meteor strike so that the meteor strike doesn't hit our fighting or frontline unit. Okay, now let's move on to the strategy itself. I will start with the general flow of the battle itself. First thing to note is that STRM's HQ is heavily protected by bases, airport, as well as a natural feature such as mountain. Therefore, sneaking into HQ and do HQ capture will be quite hard, pretty much like the last missions. Hence, we are more likely to go through, defeating all if not most of STRM's units before finishing the mission itself. Second thing is that the STRM's main or initial army is closer to Andy's initial army rather than the other two. There we will likely to battle STRMs in the middle or the center of the map. That is near the 4 neutral cities, just in the south bank of the river. Lastly, is that should we be able to win the first skirmish, we are going to proceed through the northern part of the river, the northern bank, and we will greet by a heavily guarded choke point. That is the three STRM cities in between the mountain, which is very favorable for STRM's positioning. Therefore, we have to be careful even after we take the southern bank. Okay, now I think that will be the general flow of the mission itself. I will now talk the strategy for each individual army. Okay, first, for Max Army or the left wing, the strategy is kinda simple. That is, we will help Andy's or the center army from 2 points. First, we will send mostly tanks and maybe 1 anti-air via the southern route and the southern road to cover / protect / support Andy's rear. Lastly, the rest of the army can go north towards the river and the bridge and hopefully able to pincer STRM's army from the bridge itself. Two things to note is that first, we will have to protect and pay more attention to anti-air, especially because STRM's initial army will have quite numbers of air units, namely bomber that could be devastating for us. So we will send our anti-air unit possibly to the north, and hopefully to intercept incoming bombers/fighters. Secondly, we will try to capture the airport and the ground unit base just in the south, just in the north of the max, near the southern bank of the river. From there, hopefully we will be able to order some air units as well as more ground units to help the center army or Andy's army pincer from the left side of the bridge or the north bank of the river towards the Sturm HQ. Now for Samish units or the Green Earth or right wing units, it will be quite same with one major difference. So Sami's main task is to bait or to attract the meteor strikes from Sturm. That is, we will utilize few of our initial units as well as order more units from the base to create a cluster valuable unit, so Sturm's meteor strike could hit Sami's units, not Andy's or Max unit that will be fighting in the front line. Secondly, again similar to Max, Sami's anti-air units such as missile and the anti-airs itself will move to north, supports Andy's, and mainly to intercept incoming bombers and the fighters from Sturm's left wing itself. Last thing for Samis to do is that Samis should capture all the neutral cities on the right side of the maps, so Samis can keep up the goal to order and repairs the hurt unit from the meteor strikes. So we will also send the mech plus infantries to capture the cities on the right side of the map. Now for Andy's, one unique things for Andy's unit is that the ranking or the scoring for these missions, except for speeds, so the technique and power score are only depends on Andy's unit. That is, the tech. So the power will depend how much Sturm's unit that Andy can finish or the last hit, and the technique score will depend on how much Andy's unit that lost compared to the Andy's total unit. So for that reason, if you are going to aim for the score, you will need to be careful in proceedings Andy's unit, and possibly we will need to sacrifice max or Sami's units to get better technique scores. Now for those reasons, Andy's main strategy is first, again, to move up the anti-air units, and the goal is to prepare against bombers and fighters, and the second wave of the 4 battle copters that Sturm has back in the HQ. Secondly, and this I will prioritize to get the southern neutral cities. With those extra cities, hopefully Andy's can spam more units to keep up the technique scores. Last thing to note for Andy's unit is that Andy should not play too aggressive, but rather to wait on max supports units from his rear army before proceeding through the choke point in the northern bank of the river. So you will see that I will try to move up and down conservatively whilst waiting for max units to come either from the left side of the river or from Andy's rear. Now I think that is for the briefing. That is a long briefing and it will be a long battle. So what you will see is that I will minimize the animations time. So I will turn off some of the animations And I will probably split the missions into 2 or 3 videos depending how long it will be. Okay, so that is for the last briefing room. Hopefully this strategy can get us through these missions.